So you were just talking about you have to be good to yourself, be nice to yourself.
You got to feel love for you. You've
Right.
got to be the love that is you.
And I want to be able to do that about me unconditionally. Yet when I start in the mode of, I'm a good dad, I'm a smart guy, I felt those are all conditions that I'm focusing on myself. And if those weren't true, then how do you unconditionally love yourself?
But here's the deal. Trying to find positive aspects about yourself that make you feel good is conditional. Abraham, I hate you. It is conditional.
Right.
Finding the mood and then looking at yourself and liking what you see is unconditional.
But
Can you feel the difference?
I feel the difference, but the coaching that you give us feels like find things about yourself. Tell yourself how good you are, a good parent, a good whatever. But that's a condition on which I'm focused about me. And
Well,
also would imply
well,
that
when
there are
you-
conditions if I focus on me that aren't good, then
We know.
that's accurate
We
too.
know. Well, when you were just a little guy interacting with us in the very early stages, the very first teachings that we wanted you to understand is that good thoughts are better than bad thoughts, that good feeling thoughts are better than bad feeling thoughts, and that being as positive as you can be is much better for you than being negative. In other words, these are just basic things that as you begin to play with it, if you make lists of positive aspects about someone, you're going to have a better relationship with them than if you make lists of negative aspects about them.
Clearly.
But now we're years down the road, we're vibrations down the road, and now what we're saying to you is most people are still, with all of this coaching and counseling and guidance that we've been offering, they are still needing conditions to change before they will allow themselves to really feel good. And the way that translates out with most of you is you're asking others to approve and appreciate. In other words, it matters so much how others are seeing me. I care about what you think. My perspective, I want your perspective to meld with my perspective, and then I'll be happier if you really get me, if you really understand me.
So how do you...
And there's a trap in that you can't get around. In other words, you cannot work yourself out of that trap.
So how do you love us unconditionally? Why do you love us unconditionally?
It's easy for us because we're able to step back far enough to know who you really are. In other words, we know who you are and why you are here. We know that the contrast is natural, so we don't blame you when you're stepping in the muck. We know that that's how you figure out what you want, so we don't feel uncomfortable when you're in the step one part of the process. We know that it always turns out well because we've got the bigger picture. And so we don't have to worry about any situation that you might get yourself in because we know that ultimately you come back around to who you really are.
So for you, conditions are irrelevant.
Conditions are irrelevant to us, but you are creating conditions all of the time by your vibrational presence, you see. Conditions are an important facet. Begin again. Vibration, thought, emotion with the thought,
Right.
word, conditions, 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 conditions. But if you start with the condition, you are less likely to ever get to the vibration of alignment. It's the cart before the horse thing. You see what we're getting at?
And so your ability to only stay in vibration...
Esther woke up one morning feeling good because she hadn't thought any thoughts that took her away from that. She woke up with her cork floating and didn't do anything to cause it not to float. And then she sat, and in that state of unconditional alignment, because she hadn't focused on any conditions that took her higher or lower, she was just there, she looked out into a world and saw conditions of the world more beautifully than she had ever seen them before. She didn't get up, not feeling good, make a list of positive aspects, try to talk herself into feeling better, and then look out at the world. She woke up aligned. That's the thing that we're wanting you to hear. You wake up in alignment if you will allow yourself to be in alignment.
So using that as an example, so Esther wakes up and Esther's feeling great and she's feeling love.
And why is she? Let's emphasize why. Why is she feeling good?
Because she hasn't done anything to not feel good.
And so her natural state is one of feeling good. Her natural state is one of alignment. Her natural state. And she didn't do the unnatural things that she's learned along her physical trail and take her out of alignment. She woke up and why? Because while she slept, momentum ceased and the vibration of her inner being became dominant. She was in the receptive mode because she didn't tune herself away from the receptive mode. So she woke up still in the receptive mode and stayed there. Ooh. And then the vibration turned to a thought. I think I'll go outside. The vibration turned to a thought. I think I'll look over there. I think I'll look over there. I think I'll look over there. A seamless awareness of her environment with no resistance. Unconditional love.
And in that state, she wouldn't take an action that would, she would not be inclined to take an action that would pull her away from that.
Maybe the phone would ring. Maybe the phone would ring and she would look down. Oh, maybe. But if you have enough experiences like that, pretty soon you'll look down and nothing will take you out. In other words,
right. So we've had conversations in this forum for a long time, and I love connecting with infinite intelligence. I feel like I've got the intelligence part of it down as far as the cognitive thinking piece of law of attraction, but I really want to know the infinite part of it. Infinite me, infinite intelligence, the infiniteness that I am connected to. I want that experience of our conversations here, of our conversations when I'm not here. That's what I want to feel.
the best word that that Esther can find that fits with what you're reaching for is clarity. Now we use the word alignment, but it's not as feelable. And we use the word of love, but you've messed that word up terribly. So the word clarity, clear-minded, sureness, confidence, knowing, certainty, absence of resistance, right path, right time. It's that feeling. It's that feeling. Because you have to understand, all that you've lived has culminated into this consciousness that is this source vibration that is not just aware of you, that is you. That is you and is aware of where you are now.
And so my being aware of that is the infinite peace.
You feeling that in the moment, whether it's someone causing you to laugh, someone that you're holding as your object of attention that you're enjoying, someone that you are loving, an idea of doing something. In other words, person, place, thing, doesn't matter. You're tuned in to that knowing.
So it's the absence of time and the presence of now.
Ooh, when you are in that state of alignment and you are focused in a time-space reality, it doesn't get any better than that. Because now you can feel the continuity. Now you can feel the progress of it. Now to be consciously aware of the thought, the vibration turning to the thought. The thought, the feeling of the thought, the power of the thought, the knowing of the thought. And then the words that begin to flow, and then the cooperative components of the universe that begin to play with you. That's the infinite, you see. To allow all that you are here, now. No blockage. No petty issues. No, I don't like the way you did that. I don't like the way you did that. None of that. Just tuned into Source and living life the way you and Source intended to live life here and now.
And recognizing that anything we call issues will have to be considered petty if we want to be that.
Or step one, delicious step one, clarifying points. You see, that's why we don't get out of whack when you're out of whack. We know you're having step one and you came here to have some of that. We know none of us can expand. There can be no infinite. There can be no eternal. There can be no everlasting if there's not new, and there can't be new unless there are questions that bring new answers or problems that bring new solutions. It's all part of it. So we bless you in every problem that you are in, and when you start embracing the problem rather than acting like there's something that I'm doing wrong in it, then you'll be who you really are moving through this life experience. Really good conversation.
Perfect.